Hallelujah, everybody. We praise Yahuwah for this opportunity to come to your home. Welcome to Eagles Haven Ministry, Witness of the Covenant, as well as HaRuachEliyahu channel. Welcome you for tuning in this Yom. We're right on time, maybe a couple minutes, 1 minute late, but this time on time. Praise
All right.
God. Hallelujah.
Praise Yahuwah.
All the equipment, everything's running tov. And we just give praise, Yahuwah, for the opportunity to come into your home and share this, the teachings, the root of the Torah, the teachings, and what we're going to be sharing today. I just praise Yahuwah for this opportunity. Of course, you know the day we're going to be sharing some scriptures. We're going to go through all the scriptures, but before that, we're going to show a little bit about NASA in the Sanskrit, which is the word for moon, Nasha. And as you see in front of you, you see a ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. I don't agree 100%, but that's a good model, semi-model. We have other models to look at. But before we go there, I just wanted to have Brother greet you and say hello to you.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom aleichem to all those who don't know me. But I think everybody mostly that listens to this knows me right now. But anyways, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to have everybody here today that's coming in live from different locations. People are watching us. We love you. We blew the shofar in the beginning because we're crying out. We're crying out
for righteousness.
Shema Israel, to repent of her sins. Horrible things are happening back to back right now, people. Horrible things are going on. People are still stuck in Babylon. They're bound up in Babylon one way or another. Even the rabbinical are bound up in Babylon as well. We know that the satanic ritual of Gotthard train tunnel on 5/31 took place. And that demonic, satanic, in your face, eyes wide open ritual in Gotthard, which means the land, a part of Gut or God or Gut is the German way of saying the word God, the prosperity deity of fortune. And then right after that came along the Hillary Clinton campaign was in Los Angeles on 6/16/16, and the witches and warlocks on national TV, you can Google it, bragged on it that they put 5-pointed witchcraft, 5 points of sacrifices. They didn't tell where and what they were sacrificing. You know what I mean? Because Los Angeles, Hollywood's full of bloodshed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't say what it was, but they were backing Hillary for her president campaign. And we know that she is her famous book, you could see videos on it, her stating that she was a part of the Lewinsky group of Rules for Radicals. And we know that in the first opening of Rules for Radicals, Lewinsky dedicated his book to Lucifer as the light bearer of understanding of his radical rules for radicals. You know what I mean?
You're talking about Saul Alinsky, right?
Saul Alinsky.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So we have, thank you for adding his first name there. You can look it up online. There's nothing hidden. This is light and darkness fighting.
Right. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, brother. I mean, it's just like the word says, but against principalities, powers in high places. You know, it's not just a physical thing. What's happening is very spiritual. So, and the only ones that can have any kind of effect on these devil, demons, or however you want to put them, is people who are calling on the name. Right.
Because look, that happened. We had I want to say the word May, but on the 5th month, on 31st day, the ritual. Then on 6/16, there was a lot of other things going on in the middle too.
Right.
I'm just only highlighting. Okay, and then we have a parade that took place on the Washington Mall in front of the sundial they call the Washington Monument. And then we want to cry out Shema Israel, because on the 21st or 22nd, just a few days ago, they had the Jerusalem Gay Pride Sodomite Day parade, walking through the walls of Jerusalem. Okay, it was canceled before. They resurrected it. This is the abomination of desolation, and there's a lot of partiality about it. But Israel needs to wake up. Everybody needs to wake up because they're not calling on the true name. They're not calling on Yahuwah. And the first scripture we want to share with, and we just pray, we're going to pray. So we're going to pray and we're going to stop and pray. But I want to read a verse as an opening as we begin to pray and ask the Father to literally barakah and let his berekot come upon us, and we rebuke, bind, crush, and destroy the prince of the air that come against our electronics, of our equipment and our modem, our Wi-Fi system, our frequency, and even in the going out to you, there will be no burps and stutters and all these spinning little wheels of slowing down with commercials, but that you'll be able to watch this with a good flow. This video teaching we're going to share today. This one's going to be a very impacting message as we open in a different topic, but then we go in right into the scriptures concerning the way the earth really looks like according to the Word. What's the earth look like according to Torah, Tanakh, and Brit-Hadashah? You know what I mean? And before we do that, I want to just go ahead and go into read a verse from you based, as I switch channels here. And we're going to go to 2 Chronicles chapter 7, starting from verse 14. And we're going to read on and look at it in different translations. Are you with me, brother?
Yes. Let me read that verse real quick. It says, "And my people upon whom my name is called." Let me read that one more time because it's very important. Okay,
very important.
Everybody knows this verse, and it's used over and over. But if you really read it, and it says, "And my people upon whom my name is called." Okay, let's stop right there. Because, first of all, if you're a Christian and you're a Cristiano, that's not Yahuwah's name.
Right.
So you can say you can repeat this stuff all day long
till
you're blue in the face for the rest of your life.
Spirit shows
but if
up,
you consider yourself to be a Cristiano, I'm sorry, brother.
Go on.
If you consider yourself to be a Cristiano, then you're not calling upon the name, and his name is not upon you because you're saying I'm a Christian or I'm a Cristiano.
What about the rabbinical?
Okay, the same thing. You know, when we start the prayer, we say, Baruch atah Adonai. Oh, Adonai? Really? Adonai? I don't know. No, it's not Adonai. It's Baruch atah Yahuwah. Right. Eloheinu melech haolam.
Right.
All right. It is Baruch are you, Yahuwah, that's King of the universe.
The sovereign.
Say we're sovereign. Yes, I'm sorry.
Elohim.
Right. The mighty one of the universe. It's not. I'm going to just use these words real quick. It's not, blessed are you, Adonai, the King of the universe. You're calling on a different deity. And I just wanted to say something really quick before we keep reading this. Right. Is earlier you said gut and gut.
Yeah.
Okay. Those, I was looking it up, brother, and I thought that was only a title. But that's actually a deity.
It's a real name of a real deity.
Right. The Druids used that name from even before the Germans did. A long time before. This is a high Germanic language, and it was used in the ancient days. And it was actually the deity that they were calling on. It's not just a title. So G-O-D is not just a title. I just want them to know that.
Right.
Okay?
This is what every Nazi had on their belt buckle when they threw our people in the fiery furnace.
Right. So
Gut
now...
mit uns.
Right. Okay, so
that's the deity G-O-D.
Right, you're right. Yes,
it's the same guy.
Wow.
And you want to call on him, Yehudi? Come on, give me a break. You can't call on that German one that threw our people in the fiery furnace. That's a blasphemy. It's like our people are rolling in their sleep, waiting to wake up to slap you, Yehudi, for using that G-O-D word.
Right. Yes, it is.
Keep going, brother.
Okay, it says, "And my people upon whom my name is called." Okay, what's your name, brother?
My name is Eliyahu.
Eliyahu. Yahu, Eliyahu, Anayahu. Eliyahu upon the name, upon whom my name is called. Abiya, your wife. My wife, Kimaya. You know, we have the name of Yah. So let's read this again. "And my people upon whom my name is called." Okay? Now my name from birth is Alfredo. Okay, but it's a Latin pagan name, and I refuse to be called that name by believers. I want you to call me Anayahu or Anaya. This is my name that Yahuwah gave me.
He's the name of a man in the scriptures.
Right. So it says, and my people upon whom my name is called. If those ones upon whom my name is called shall humble themselves. It didn't say if my people who are called the Christians. Doesn't say that.
Called Baptists.
Or called the Baptists. Or the people who call Adonai. It doesn't say that.
Yeah.
It says, and my people upon whom my name is called shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their evil ways. Then, and this is what we strive for, to learn the prayers, to seek Yahuwah, to turn from our wicked ways, to repent, to teshuvah, and go back to the Torah. Then got back to the Torah. Okay, so there are certain things. There are certain things he's saying that has to happen before he will hear you. Okay, before he will hear you, you need to be calling on his name. Right, it's conditional.
Yeah.
You need to call on his name first of all, and eventually, when you begin to call on his name, your name will change to his character, because you will have the characteristics of your father, who is Yahuwah, not your father on earth, but your father in the Shamayim. Okay, so then and pray and seek my face. You got to pray and seek his face. You got to call on his name, and you gotta tefillah. You gotta pray, and you gotta seek his face. Okay,
get his name right, people.
Right, and you gotta teshuvah. You gotta and turn from your evil ways. That means to teshuvah, to turn around and come back to the Creator. Then I shall hear from the Shamayim and forgive their sin and heal their land. And now that this has happened, my eyes are open. I see you, and my ears are attentive. I hear you.
What?
Yeah.
You mean it had to be those conditions to be heard? So you mean Christians that read just a piece of that verse are misleading the people? Right. They're only reading a piece of that verse. They only read verse 14. They don't go on and keep reading.
Right. And I think that a lot of stuff is, man, we've been taught to, I just can't put it in words. We've been taught in ways that were not right. And so there's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of good people out there who really believe in the Creator. Okay, but it doesn't matter how good you are or how good I am. It doesn't matter, because all men have fallen short. Everybody. Okay, what matters is these things that he's talking about seeking him, calling on his name, repenting. Then he's going to hear you, and then he's going to forgive your sin and heal the land. Now his eyes are open, he sees you and he hears you. And so I just wanted to, brother and I just wanted to make a point of this. And we know that we pound this and drive it every single Shabbat, over and over and over, and there's a reason for it.
Right.
Because without that, I mean,
yeah, there's a condition for everything.
Right.
In verse 16, it also says, and now I have chosen and set this house apart for my Shem, my name, to be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall always be there. Okay, so, and of course, the enemy has planted another building on top of that location with another name, another principality, right? Because they know that's a portal, that's a gateway. And they have put this other blockage there of the Islamic groups. Now, we emphasize this, people. We're not hearing this in the political campaigns. We're not hearing this in the Christians in this world. And the reason we have chosen to give you this verse, that if my people that are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their evil ways, that is the condition. And he's going to hear from the Shamayim, from the waters above.
Right, the Shamayim.
He's not going to hear from some cloud with some little naked bababies with harps,
right?
You know what I mean? And Zeus and all those guys around him. No.
Yeah, a bunch of guys dressed like they always show They always show like when you go and buy the bottle for Shabbat, of the wine. Then it has a picture on it, and it shows like this hand going out pointing with this finger, and these robes. There's Greek stuff. That's not what it is. That's the heaven. That's what Renaissance garbage. That's what heavens is. Okay.
Yeah.
The Shamayim are the waters up above, where Yahuwah is enthroned, and his feet are on the firmament of the earth, and the earth is his footstool.
Correct. And see, as we see in this picture, the ancient Hebrew concept of the universe, and we're going to get to it, people. We're going to get to it. We must understand that there's a lot of garbage going on in people's minds. Now, this picture right here, this is total deception. They taught us this in school, this little silly, cute cutout. And no one's gone deeper with core samples of every layer up to 8 miles, and that was the Russians. So this is a fake it till they make it picture. But we're going to go, and we want to continue to. So this is Nicholas Copernicus, the founder, the man of the Catholic priest that founded this Helios system. He's the one that founded this Helios system and brought us this garbage to us, created this globe way before anybody, this is in 1500, and no one even made a balloon to 1700, and the highest balloon wasn't until 1931 from Augusta Picard flew up basically up into the retosphere, the outer space in 1931, highest person to break a record, and he saw a flat dish Earth. That's what he saw in 1931. So this is the beginning of the photographs I want to show you. Okay? The reason we're going to show you this right now before we get into the word is this. I want you to destroy the brainwashed thinking of this people, NASA. You cannot agree with them. They show you the flat earth in front of your face and the League of Nations, now called United Nation map, and you can see the 33rd degrees of it. And of course in Masons, they reach the higher level of that. And you can, NASA, and you have the Nike symbol right there, and all kinds of little symbols there of occultism in NASA. This is a cult. This is a religion. Hillary Clinton has a religion. In her book, Rules of Radicals, it's Lucifer. I got pictures of her, of people in the cult laying hands on her. Okay? This presidential thing going on is light and darkness. Destruction or people that want high. Okay? So I'm going to read something to you and show you something. Now this picture is a balloon, similar to the balloon. This was a celebration. As you can see how high they are, and the earth is flat. There's no curvature there in this picture. Right. And this is a similar picture of Augusta Picard in 1931. You can look it up. The history of this man and all the black and white footage, and the Popular Mechanics magazine gave his testimony how he saw the earth as flat with the dish ends on the end.
Right.
Okay? So now, I want to read this to you. And you're going to look it in the screen and read it, all right? Because what I want to do, just like I tear down the GOD, I show proof. NASA, you cannot rely on NASA. No more. World's Last Chance, Michael Rood, all of them. Anybody using timeanddate.com and doing the scale from 0 to 5 to the right and 0 to 5 on the left and pick a date to start equal yom and equal night, it is wrong. People
it's based on sun worship. First of all, it's based
sun worship.
Yeah.
And that's what they did in this Christian event on 7/16. They worship in front of the phallus of Nimrod, they call Washington Monument, which is a sun worshiping dial. Yeah. That's what it is.
Right.
Okay? It's Mithras. Okay? Yeah. And they're worshiping in front of it. They're singing to it. They're actually facing it and singing towards it. And people don't realize in the Hebrew mindset, we don't even supposed to have an image, a picture, a statue, a tree, anything in front of us when we pray. A blank wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? No image of a man. Now, some rabbinical have images of rabbis, and that's not right. Okay, and the Christian community is the same way among Catholics and others. They put the picture of this
Santo, of
the
a saint.
Santos,
Yeah.
or this Greek Italian looking white guy they call Jesus, and then they got the saints, and then they got whatever.
Then they got the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, and they pray
Saint
towards
Francis and Saint whoever for each day of the week.
Right.
For each day of the year. And for each month of the year.
We want to expose and tear down the strongholds of NASA as your gospel final signature of truth.
Right.
It is a religion. It's a religion of witchcraft and occultism to the fullest. It says here the man starting from the left is Aleister Crowley. The next one is Jack W. Parson, Jet Propulsion Lab, Jack Parsons Lab. Ron L. Hubbard, the one in the middle. Werner von Braun, one part of the paperclip that came here.
Right.
The Nazis.
And all these guys, you can go and do your own research and look up their character and what they believed in.
And they didn't dive Tobe, brother.
Right. No.
They didn't dive Tobe at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Walt Disney. None of my children have been to Walt Disney through my money or my escort. If they went on their own. I would never take my children to Walt Disney because I knew all along there was corruption going on, room 33 and other little pedophile rooms going on in that place late at night.
I've been there. I took my kids there, but I had no idea.
You had no idea about that.
I had no idea.
I was a Christian and knew better.
Right.
I said, no, man, it's magic kingdom. It's witchcraft. It's Latin letters with spells. When I was in the movie and music industry as a courier, I'd gone to Disney headquarters in not just the theme park in Anaheim, but also the headquarters in Glendale. And when you walk in the door, it's so doggy dog. I don't want to talk about all the doggy dog security, but when you walk in the door, you see crystals, you see pentagrams, you see the magical witchcraft emblems, the rear rings, the medallions on these producers and directors around their neck on these women, and they're all into the occult.
Right.
Walt Disney was an Irish occultist. All his stories were not even Catholic. He was not a Catholic, people.
Right. Right. I just want to say something real quick, brother. I want to say this because I want you to know that before that I learned this stuff, brother has a lot of information, and my wife was telling me too, also. But I was looking at NASA also. When I begin to do the calendar, I just want you people to know that we're not saying nothing bad about anybody who's doing that, because we've done that. We really searching it out, and those who are really searching it out, go to NASA and look to see what their time and date and all of that says. But this stuff is wrong. We want you to know what we're trying to do is to get you to know that that's deception. Okay?
Total deception.
It's total deception. We're not saying that you're dumb. We're not saying that you're
sin and all this stuff.
No. We're trying, because I think people sometimes take us wrong, and also when we call in on the name and all this, we call them those names too, but we didn't know them. But when we heard, then we change. So that's what we're doing here. That's what brothers do.
For clarifying that. I get ahead of myself, but when I did the research when I was a Christian, and I used to go to Anaheim Hills and Glendale and blow the shofar as a messianic interceder, map reading, tear down the strongholds, Hanavi. And I used to have groups of people, and we used to do this because Walt Disney Group is one of them. The theme park brags having 65 to 70% gays working in the theme park.
Wow.
Underneath Mickey Mouse, underneath all those characters, brother,
wow,
in costumes. So, and I studied and researched how they died, how they lived, and he didn't even live long enough to see his Florida theme park in 1965 open up. He died of cancer. But all these men died horribly, or it broke. They were used by the system. What does a avowed occultist, the founder of Jet Propulsion Lab, a NASA scientist, science fiction writer, L.Ron Hubbard, founder of the Church of Scientology, which was a student under Aleister Crowley of witchcraft, and an ex-Nazi turned American foremost rocket scientist, and Walt Disney, founder of the Magic Kingdom, have in common? Oh, you might be surprised of the extent of their collaborative efforts in Babylon. Sick, surprise, are you? Indeed, this is a stranger than a science fiction story. Then again, magic, alien, space, travel, and science have a lot more in common than you might think. Then again, do Americans do all the much thinking? Do they really research? Are you surprised because you haven't researched? I ask you to do your own research. I'm leaving that picture up there for a while because I want you to do your own research who these people are. This is what's infiltrated into the homes of children. You tell the child, here, watch a Walt Disney movie and stick them in front of it while you go talk with your friends. I'm ashamed I did that. I repented from my sins to doing that to my children. I want to be with the pastors and the ministers and the eating, and we'd stick a movie in the back and let all the children go watch these Disney Kingdom, wicked, magical kingdom fantasy movies. You know what I mean? To keep them occupied. And we didn't realize they were using real Latin spell words in the midst of the movies.
Right.
When the witches are putting spells. It's no more hocus pocus, I put a spell on you. Well, let me surprise you. Hocus pocus is a startup of a spell.
Right.
Flintstones, dabba dabba doo, is a Latin word for a spell. A lot of these words are real spells that they put in the movie as a cute fiction, but it is what it is. Now, let's get to a little more history of these men. I'm only focusing on 3 right now. All right. We have Aleister Crowley, which is the chief warlock and the main one that rewrote a lot of the witchcraft books and united a lot of the Masons, Illuminati to witchcraft. And then you got Jack Parson, the guy in the middle, the Romeo boy, the playboy of Hollywood, the Valley. He had his lab in the Valley. You know, he died. He blew himself up making a new propulsion design. Okay, and then Ron L. Hubbard. He ran L.Hubbard. They were all road dogs. They did sex ritual acts together with different women and other things they don't like to mention. Okay? Here's a scientist in the middle. This is a scientist. Let me show you his picture. You know who he's sitting with? He's messing with, this is Jack Parson, but L.Hubbard took off with $30,000 of Jack Parsons' money while he was building rockets in his lab and ran off with his wife to Florida.
Right.
You know, and she went back to it. But they're all playing sex games. They're trading. They're doing rituals. You don't believe me? Look at this picture. This is Jack Parson, and they're doing sex rituals with witchcraft. With the checkerboard floor. This is Aleister Crowley, the famous picture that was also in the Beatle album. Okay, the Beatles believed in him, spoke with him, and had songs of him. Here's the all-seeing eye and the pyramid, and they got the symbol of the Unks and the all sign of Amun. Amen. They call him Amen. Forgive me for saying it. That's a pagan deity of Egypt. On the top of his pyramid hat, you would think back in the hippie days. Look at this stupid guy with the cow. We didn't realize that during the Beatle days and the Stoner days and Iron Butterfly days, we didn't realize when they had these guys' picture on there that they were really part of the cult.
That was their belief system.
That was their rabbi. That was their teacher. That was their pastor. Okay, here's Jack Parson again. Now, Jet Propulsion Lab was named later after he died, but it was actually Jack Parsons' lab.
Okay.
JPL was Jack Parson in the Valley area of Los Angeles County. Okay, and then here's L.Ron Hubbard or Ron L. Hubbard, L.Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, Dianetics. Okay, which he got together with Aleister Crowley because he's a student under Aleister Crowley. Before Aleister Crowley died, he died of alcohol. He died in poverty. His house burned down, all kinds of stuff. The occult went and rebought his house, the people of witchcraft, and rebuilt it as a museum because they wanted to honor this poor warlock that died in his corruptness and sin of iniquity. Now, Jack Parson, L.Ron Hubbard, and all these guys I mentioned, even the Nazi and even Walt Disney, worked or did ceremonies, were a part of the pedophile sex acts, rituals, sex, witchcraft rituals with this man you're seeing on the screen. Okay? Now, Ron Hubbard got together with Aleister Crowley, I think it's Crow, C-R-O-W, Crowley, and what a name, man. And he picked his name. That was his name he picked. It wasn't his real name, okay? And there is no gravesite of him. He made ashes, and the ashes were spread over different places. So there is no tombstone for him. People like to go find a tombstone of him and do rituals that his spirit will possess them, okay? Some of the occultists. Now, L.Ron Hubbard wanted to make a religion to accept Lucifer as a light bearer, a brand plucked out of the fire, still with hot emblems of a brand of light, okay, that you could still get information from. So Dynetics was born. Dynetics was born and become a top recruiting station of many movie stars and actresses here in Hollywood. Of Scientology. I've been by that building. I've delivered packages in and out of that building before, and they're occultism. And they have another movie where they made movies, and John Travolta and others have made movies with them because they're a part of that crew. All right, they're part of that crew of Scientologists, which is like a power of mind and over matter, and they can be a mighty one. They can actually be a God, work their way to God, like the ways of Luciferics believe they can work their way to a mighty one like God. Now, this building I'm showing you, Hubbard got kicked out of the system. His books lingered on. He had all kinds of tax problems. He died away. His other followers carried it on as a money-making machine. Okay, they built a studio, and they took over the Mooney's studio and Mooney camp over there in Hemet, California. And I had first-hand understanding of that because the Native Americans of Saboba asked me to go in the mountain and blow the shofar and bind those strongholds of the Scientologists coming into their property. They invaded the school districts. They invaded the police department. They infiltrated every aspect of Hemet and invaded it and went into the government and slowly came in calling themselves Christians. But nobody would ask, well, what church you go to? They would say Scientology.
Oh, okay.
But they call themselves Christians, right? So of science and higher medic is not popular science. Right, Scientology is completely different than the other form of Christian Science monitor. It's another different type of belief system, okay? And they built this and all kinds of all kinds of stories. I could go on and on what goes on in Hemet with this occult. And one time we were all, our buddies were young and we're all partying, and they were challenging each other, just park your car right here and watch the Scientologist police come out. And we parked our car, and within 5 minutes, they got cameras in the trees, cameras everywhere, and videos and sound frequencies to get you not to spy on them. They come with a Jeep with Uzis to escort us out of there.
Wow.
As your car broke down, you need to jump, but they got one guy with an Uzi watching us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of this religion. And they take people there to these homes and they brainwash them and they put them on special diets. And it is a white supremacy religion. All witchcraft is white supremacy. They're big on whites only for some reason, okay?
Yeah.
They let blacks in and they let others in, but they're big on everybody on top to be white people, preferably German, Swedish, Irish, Scottish, and all that, okay? So that's enough of that. They made movies in that studio. It looks like a big castle when you go on the Morongo Highway.
So then we know that NASA is not not Kodesh.
Not a good source.
It's not a good source at all.
Not a good source.
And it's based on the globe ball Earth, which says that the Earth is rotating around the sun at 6,000 or 65,000 miles an hour. Okay, and your hair's not even blowing in the wind.
Right. Now, this is an old black and white article I found, right, about Thelemite, stuff he invented. I found out that Jack Parson, brother, literally would get information from grace. Spirits would come upon him and possess him, and he figured out the way to do the propulsion mixture. Mm-hmm. Of course, he was working with that Nazi, too, that German guy. you know what I mean, from paperclip, and he learned the right chemistry of formula of fuel from the spirit world.
Wow.
Okay, that's how he got it. So nothing's new under the sun. Those the same guys that helped Nimrod build his jet-launching mountain, whatever it was, and in India they saw people with aircraft flying around, and there was a nuclear explosion in India going back way before time we know of. You know what I mean? There was a nuclear explosion, there was a nuclear war over there in India. So this is some of the stuff back then in the 30s and 40s and 50s, they called his occult a religion. It was a religion. Here's a black and white cartoon comedy book. I cut off the comic book name because I want you to see it, just in case if there's any rights and suits against me. But this is a comic book showing rockets behind him with the 5-pointed pentagram bloody carved into his chest with a sexy girl. Because the guy was a player, and he would lure these girls with Aleister Crowley and others to do sex magic. Okay? Here's another 19.
So this is your source of getting your Kodesh time right. This was our source too.
Right.
A guy like this.
You go online, people. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but you go online. The top 10 executive officials of NASA and Jet Propulsion Lab, but mostly of NASA, are boasting witchcraft Luciferans. They're part of the Lucifer, what they call Lucas Trust, and they're a part of the Luciferian group. They brag in NASA, the top executive people, that they're a part of this group. And that's your source? Come on. Give me a break, people. Right. Here's a picture of him with it looks like almost like a pipe bomb. They probably just took some fake it till they make it pictures to advertise for him. But as I go back to this picture, you can see these are comic books, people, called Sex Rockets. Strange Angel, showing him making concussions and you know how strange he looked and dark he looked. You know what I mean? This man. This is the source, people. Now, as you look at all the shuttles, we know their names. You go online and look at their names. Here's Apollo's 13. Give me a break. What? It has Luna Sanitia in Latin. EX Luna Sanitia in Latin. And then it has showing the image of Apollos with the 8 rays of light coming out of the Helios, okay, with a chariot. This is paganism. This is not science, people. No. This is occultism. This is the modern Roman version. They had a Roman Aleph on there showing their orbits of a certain Apollo. Here's another one. Greek man and mighty one. Okay. The whole dealing of this thing, when you say, how could they have patches of Greek mythology, of pagan deities on their clothes? They're taking it into space. These people really believe in what they believe in. They do not play games. They don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know how, when during winter, it takes almost 80 miles, 60 to 80 miles with an icebreaker to break, to get to the ice wall in the Arctic ring. They don't want you to know these things and see these pictures of the Arctic ring, of them taking a boat during the summertime, butting it up against and doing their little scientist things. And as you can see in the background, it is straight flat, but it's going straight up because it's every footstep you make once you get on that top of that Arctic wall ring is 1 foot high up, every foot, up to 2,500 feet up high, all around altitude. So, and of course, the coincidence. Is this a coincidence that you got Chucky, little Chucky Jesus here with a cruz?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The eight-pointed cruz with his little fiery fork on his head, giving the symbol of the Masons of the Illuminati with a ball. Is this any coincidence? You have Nimrod, Simmeries, and all the same thing with these balls hanging around them. The same thing for the fallen one, of right, that gave the fire the Greek mythology, and you see the obliques, this guy holding up a phallus and the other guy's holding up a ball with a snake on it. All right, is there any coincidence this Catholic picture has a band around they call the globe in the world, which is not really the right image? This is Nimrod to the best, people.
Right.
And we need to repent from it. We need to repent from it wholeheartedly and stop using NASA as a resource.
Remember the first verse that we shared with you guys. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and turn from their evil ways. So we got to turn from that, from believing in the whole world has gone astray, believing in that we are revolving around the sun instead of Yahuwah being the center and the earth, Yahuwah being the center of our universe.
Instead of heliocentric.
Right. We need to get away from that, really, in order to be able to even have a chance to discern the times that we are in.
And research the astrolabe. There's other people, groups, our friends in Florida and others are using the technology to figure out the accuracy within hours of the equal yom and equal night. And we want to start using different equipment instead of sun worship equipment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so who you are worshiping? You're worshiping that dollar bill, the one, the God they trust, which is the same one that it was on the Nazi belt buckles, the same one when they were throwing our people in the fiery furnace, as well as gypsies and Poles and anybody else that wasn't the right color, complexion, and look. What are you going to believe, people? It's time to come out of this fake it till they make it lies that they are doing. This is showing you the geocentric system versus the helios system. It's actually an old picture. I borrowed it from a certain group. It's pretty good. Versus the sun-centric system universe, showing you the distinct difference in their layout. Okay?
Right. We have a lot of scriptures that show what the earth looks like. Without, once you get the, once we remove, let me talk to them, brother.
Please.
Let me talk to them on the.
Right.
Okay. I just want to say this. Once we remove, we got to take away the ball round earth. We got to take that out of the picture in order to look at the scripture and bring in what Yahuwah is saying that the earth is. Okay? Because we've been indoctrinated for so many years and believing in our mind that the earth is a ball, it's round, and so our concept of what the earth is way different than what the Torah says. That's why we really need to go over all of those scriptures. Let me just give
Hebrew and English.
Right. Let me just give you a real quick. Brother had written this down. I'll just give you one real quick. And let me read it to you in Hebrew. In Hebrew, this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 6. And it says like this. This is how it says in Hebrew. It says, Vayomer Elohim, Yehi rakia betoch hamayim, vehi magdid b'mayim lamayim. Okay? Which means it says, and Elohim said, let there be a rakia, an expanse, in the midst of the waters to separate the waters from the waters. Lamayim, lamayim. So now in your mind, if you go to the ocean and you look out at the water, and it's a clear day, and you look up at the sky, you're going to see the waters above with no clouds. You're going to see blue above and blue on the water.
And when they meet together, too, at a distance of the line of sight, they actually come in closing to the line of sight together.
So you're going to see lamayim, hamayim. You're going to see the waters separated from the waters. The firmament, the rakia, shows the handiwork of Yahuwah.
Hallelujah.
Okay? And so your mind has to think way different. And that's why we're going through all of this. So it's really going to take so we can get the right information out there, because if we start right now, it'll take us at least another hour to go through this stuff.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stop here, but we really look at